All right, so this is basically module 1 of the foot course for the next 4 weeks. It's gonna be awesome. Your foot will change in 4 weeks, but you know, there'll still be more work to do after. The key with success with this program is you need to do the stuff in between the sessions. So doing it just here is not gonna be enough. So you gotta make sure to do this pretty much every day if you can, okay? So basically, here's a quick overview of what we're doing. So we're gonna go over what kind of to expect over the next 4 weeks as far as changes that can occur. Obviously, the longer you've had issues or the more issues you had, usually it takes a little bit longer to get them better. We're gonna go over, you're basically gonna set some goals for yourself of what you want. I always say shoot for the moon and land on the roof rather than shoot for the roof and land on the garbage can. So, you know, set them maybe a little bit high, just don't land on the garbage can. So we're basically gonna assess where are you now, and we're gonna constantly reassess through the next 4 weeks and see basically, obviously, what's actually improving. One thing that we're gonna do that's really important is we're going to basically prime your nervous system, meaning we're gonna get you out of kind of like a fight or flight, which most of us are in, kind of a stress response. We're gonna get you into a calmed parasympathetic response, get you calmed down because that's when your body's ready for learning. And that's why when you do a lot of things and you're in this fight or flight, you don't get the changes you want because your system can't learn. So we're gonna prep your system to win, okay? First, these are kind of the exercises we're gonna go over. So the first thing we're actually gonna learn is how to actually stand in proper alignment, which you'll find probably isn't the case, okay? We're gonna learn how to load the foot. We're gonna learn about the calf stretch today, the soleus stretch, top of the foot stretch. We're gonna do what's called a quick start routine, which is kind of some myofascial release and different things for the lower limbs combined with integration of the upper body to kind of get everything together. And then we're gonna do a self foot massage. I know. Might not be as good as someone else doing it, but it'll be pretty good, okay? So basically, like it says in here, you're gonna see changes in your foot function over the next 4 weeks, how well your lower body functions, and basically your body's overall alignment. So you'll most likely have a reduction in pain if you have pain. And you'll basically have the framework of what to do after the 4 weeks to keep improving the feet, as long as you're just steady with it. It's kind of like brushing your teeth, okay? You're gonna have to go with this. So we're gonna get progressively more difficult stuff through each week. This is kind of starting with the basics, kind of getting things opened up. And we're gonna move into harder balance things and harder things to make your footwork harder. Because the problem with most of our feet is like these little muscles here, they're not working really well. They might be tight, but they're not working very well. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is I want you to set some goals for yourself. And did we, I think I left all the pens over there. I'm gonna go grab the pens. So you're gonna write down some goals for yourself of what you'd like to see in 4 weeks. So remember at the beginning I said shoot for the moon, okay? Okay, don't be overly don't be like cynical about it. Like, okay, I'd like my foot to look a little bit better. I want specific stuff here. And again, remember, it's not just about the foot. If you have any like knee pain, hip pain, back pain, make note of that. See if you'd like that to improve as well, okay? And then right after that, we're gonna do the self-assessment here, which is actually right in your little workbook here. And if you feel like you need time to think about these, you can take time and write them down later, that's fine. But if you guys feel like you want, like over here, I got the tea tree oil in this little bottle right here for your feet. So if you feel like you need to, get your feet with a little tea tree oil, smell kind of good.
It's good for fungus.
Yep, exactly. And if you feel like if you feel like your feet you just want them cleaner, if your feet kind of hang out in the shoe all day, Not saying your guys' feet are dirty, okay? And remember, like if you feel like you can't think of everything, that's fine. You can always write more stuff down later. But if, balance is your goal, write that down. If getting out of pain in the feet or anywhere else, write that down. Because sometimes you'll be surprised at what gets corrected when you correct your feet. Good? All right, cool. I like it. That's for the next 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, so if you're ready right now, what I'm gonna have you do is you're just gonna get on the paper and without socks. I mean, you could do it with socks, but ideally without socks. And then you're just gonna, you're gonna do both feet. Yep, so you can do it on, one side and just trace your foot. And then make sure to mark which foot as well. I mean, you can usually guess, but You can't get the back totally, that's fine. Because basically we're looking at how wide does your foot look? Like what does it look like and if it's gonna change. Cool. Yeah, I got more right here. Here you go. There you go. There's your artistic portrait there. Now if you look over here, you can see.
Yeah.
Just looking from foot to foot, right? There's a little difference, which is kind of cool to look at. What's that? Yep. The other thing you're gonna do after you trace your foot is I didn't put this down in here, but you're gonna make note of where any calluses might be. Kind of where you're putting more pressure on the foot. Yeah, you can kind of circle it, mark it on your drawing. And if you feel like you need to, you can make note of it, but the drawing should be good. Because where you have the calluses and stuff is obviously where you're putting your load through your foot. So it tells you a lot of what your foot's doing.
Turn it over?
Yeah, for the other foot? Yep.
Is that what's normal to you?
That looks like your foot.
Yes, it does.
Looks exactly like your foot, Betsy. I mean, sorry, not Betsy. You're not here, that's right. Yeah. We gotta go incognito here, remember? And what you'll look for over time too, especially with 4 weeks, it can happen in 4 weeks, is you'll look for maybe those calluses to either start disappearing or just more even distribution of weight. Now we're gonna get to the real fun part. All right, so this is what we're gonna do, and Betsy, you're fine, take your time over there, okay? So we're gonna do a single leg balance, okay? And I have in here for you to write. You can fill out in here basically how your right side is, how your left side is. And what I do is I'd write right under where it says, kind of there, because I have 3 different tests in this section we're gonna do. And this is basically where we're gonna check your balance. Okay. You don't need to hold that, yeah, just keep everything relaxed and just assess what you feel, from side to side.
Just standing or single.
So actually, yes, you can do this first where you're just saying, look down, look where your feet are. And what are they doing, right? And where do you feel like your weight's distributing? Yeah. But make note of that, because you want to say, okay, my right foot maybe turns out a little farther. I feel like my weight's going into my heel or it's going to the front of my foot, on my left, whatever you feel in your natural, like if you're just stand there, don't try to correct it, your natural, what's my natural stance look like?
And write those notes down.
You can write those down unless you think you can remember them. You're like, no, it's not happening. No, you're good. You're good. You're totally good. It's top of the toes, it looks like right here, kind of in middle joints. Yep.
Okay, I can write down hammer toes. Is that what you want?
Well, and kind of like where it's red on the top of your toes there, where it's getting more pressure.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
otherwise known as corn.
So whatever, anything like that, any callus corn, whatever you got, that's kind of getting like extra pressure on it. You're just getting more familiar with your feet than maybe you already are. All right, so when you're ready, you're gonna go into that single leg stance. Yep, we'll spend about like 15 seconds going through this right here. You just wanna see what your foot does with this. You wanna see what your other leg does. Does it try to go in? Does it try to go out? You ready for this next part?
Yep.
All right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stand on one foot. Try to hang out like that. And you just want to see what your foot wants to do as it's doing that. You'll check both sides. We'll spend about 10 to 15 seconds on each side just to see what it's doing. Yeah, how your balance is. So you would say I had to use my hand to balance, for example. So that's what you'd write down. And then to see if your foot kind of does say my foot kind of was wobbling or whatever it's doing. Next one we're going to do, after you're done with this one, is what's called the Romberg test. This is a balance test. Yeah, know what your feet and other leg do as well. So you're going to put the feet in line with each other. And you're going to cross here. And you're going to try to balance. And just see what your feet and body want to do here. If you want to take it to another level, if you feel like your balance is pretty good here, you can close your eyes and really see what magic happens. And it becomes a little bit harder, and that's just checking your proprioception, how aware you have your body in space. Or not aware. Cross my arms. Yep. Yep. So that's what you want. That's what you want to put. Is like, okay, I can barely cross my arms. I felt like I was wobbly.
Should I do the other foot also?
Yep. You go switch sides because one will be different than the other. Usually, might find one easier. And you want to make note which one is more difficult. Is really the more important of the two. So it could be like for you, the right foot forward was more difficult, which tells you maybe in gait, when you're walking, you bring your right foot forward and you put pressure on that, your balance gets set off. And we'll skip this next one. I have the kneeling inline balance test, but we'll skip this one for now because that gives you pretty good information. But you can do that one if you want, which is basically you're kneeling, same kind of thing. It's basically the same as the Romberg test, except you're taking your feet out of the equation and seeing basically what your hips are doing and more of your core. So this gives you kind of a level up of assessment. And this one's always harder than it looks. How you doing over there, Betsy? All right, ready for the next part? Next, you're just gonna do a body weight squat. So, nothing overhead or anything like that. Arms forward, squat as low as you comfortably can. Kind of hang out for a second to see how well you balance. I know you wear some really good pants for this. And notice how, notice your depth, your ease, what it feels like on the knees, yep. Or the ankles, does it feel like your ankles can't really flex forward? Because what happens is if you feel like your ankles can't really flex, then it's gonna go to the knees usually. Yep.
Balance, put my arms over to the side
That's okay. That's okay. That's what this is testing. You just want to get a basic idea of where you're at, because we'll use this later to see if your balance improved.
Yeah.
And if you have to if you feel like, okay, I have to hold on to that, this tells you like, okay, my balance where it is now, I have to hold on lightly to something to even remotely stay balanced. That's okay.
Right.
Yeah, because that gives you a base. It gives you a baseline. So let's make note. Like I needed to hang out there to stay balanced. Check both sides. See if one side is harder to balance than the other. Like if the right foot forward or the left foot forward is harder. All right. So now after the squat, we're gonna go to the toe touch. Okay. So you're just gonna come down, keep the legs straight and knees slightly locked out, and see if you can go and touch your toes. Make note of where you come. So if you come to about your ankles, maybe above a little bit in the shins, make note of that. So the other thing we're going to do is basically we're going to check our ankle dorsiflexion, and you want to be about like 4 inches. So you can measure out 4 inches away from a wall to really test this. This is about 4 inches, roughly. And you want to see, if I'm 4 inches away, can I come and touch that, like the wall. So you guys can use the wall right here. And basically, yeah, use some kind of line. That's about 4 inches right there. And you want to see, what does my ankle do? And your ankle's saying rejected. It's good though. It gives you good information, right? Hey Betsy, you're cool with laying down on the table though, right? Cool, because we're going to do a movement that you don't have to get on the ground for. You can lay on the table instead. Yeah, that's ankle dorsiflexion right there. And again, you can work with the 4 inches if you don't have that or you don't feel like measuring it. You just want to see how far can your knee go forward. So this is the next one. This one might be hard for you right now, so we won't worry about it too much. But basically what you want to look, so you can do this kind of standing. You want to see how far your knee can come forward and kind of you can get flexion and dorsiflexion in the ankle joint. Okay? Mm-hmm. So check that out and see where you're at with that. All right. Next one, we're going to do the active straight leg raise. So this one's kind of checking mobility and stability, but more stability of your core. So you're going to be here, point the toes up, one leg, there. And like that. You're looking to come to around 90 degrees. If you're less than that, make note, make sure your knees stay locked. Yep, so lock that knee. And you'll make note of where your knees stay locked. A little tight today, huh? Yeah. About 45, yes, because when you straighten out your knees, it would be about 45 degrees, yep. All right, so I'm gonna have you do that on the table, Betsy. So I'll show you right now. Yeah, I know you're writing, I know. Dorsiflexing. So basically you'll be here, you're just gonna bring one leg up, and then like that. It's all right. It's all right.
When I do things like this.
We're gonna start you where you're at. You're good. And you just want to see how far does each leg kind of come up, and then, is one not coming up as? Yep, and relax that neck.
Okay. So the quads activate.
Yep, and just totally relax your neck onto the table. Well, yeah, I know that. I know it's worse because you're trying to cheat with using your core.
Yeah, well, at least
I know. Good. Bring it back down, and then go to the other one. Relax that neck. Relax that neck. So you're actually pretty good on that.
Yeah.
You get about 90 degrees, no problem. So it's good. And you're pretty even. So that's what you can write down on your assessment. That was pretty even. So your core is working pretty well there with that. It happens, we get those days. Last one we're gonna do, you can get a chair for this, a ball, but chair is better. We're gonna come like this, cross, and we're gonna check our thoracic rotation. So basically gonna see how well can we rotate to each side. You can use the tall chairs, that's fine, yep. You can use one of these over here, but probably stay over there if you wanna, you know. Yep. If you feel comfortable doing those. What's that? Yeah, so put it right here, and then you're just gonna rotate as far as you can. Make sure you stay nice and tall. Make sure you're not like arching back like that, you're staying straight. And then see how far each way turns. You should get about like 35, 45 degrees. The right looks a little harder on that, right? And that's the other thing I want to note, like, is one side easier? You got further on the left, yeah. Yeah, because you're gonna probably about like 30 degrees on the left, and but probably like 20-ish on the right. So you're looking for roughly like 45, ideally, roughly around there. All right.
Is that okay?
Just gonna go right here.
You want to squat?
Yep, you got the squat. Do you do the toe touch? All right, good. So your toe touch, no problem, which matches up kind of with your stuff on the table. And then your squat. So make note of where your squat is. Go ahead and do the squat again. All right, good. And just notice how you feel. Do you feel like unstable? Like, does it feel?
Unstable, it hurts.
It hurts. Yep. So you want to make.
My foot is angling out in this direction. I don't have good balance, and I'll just fall over, and then I'll break my nose, and you'll have to pay for it.
That's good. Yeah, Corey has liability insurance.
Good.
So you're good with that. That's all you need to do is just check it once, and then make note of what you just said to me.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
how far do I actually do I go? I can't tell how far I go down.
How far you go down? You're going about here.
That's pretty good. Oh, yeah.
Getting about like 45-ish degrees or so. And a lot of that's just, yeah, because your body doesn't feel stable because of your feet, but we're looking to improve that. So, all right, so we pretty much got everything. We got tracing the foot outline. And once we're done writing this stuff down, we're gonna go into prepping our system for doing some of the actual exercises here. Ooh, that was fun assessing, wasn't it?
I'm very stiff.
Yeah, I know. It kind of opens your eyes. You're like, okay, well, there's that. Well, what's cool is like because if you didn't assess, you wouldn't like, you don't know. Like you're like, okay, well, I think I feel better or did better, but it's like, this is some kind of level. It's not perfectly objective, but some kind of objective assessment. Because obviously every day is a little different too, but this gives you some level of baseline.
So I watched that video where the guy did the toe touch mobility on concrete versus grass, and I tried it. Yeah, I was able to touch my toes on grass and can't on concrete.
Yep, because you're getting the electrons from the earth. I know. That's actually part of this too, going barefoot in the grass. She's like, no, it's essential, Betsy. Barefoot in the grass. All right, you ready for the next part? We're gonna do some breathing now.
Okay. Am I supposed to stand up against the wall?
For what?
The dorsiflexion?
No, I had you do that once. I had you do that one standing up, yeah.
Okay, so all I have to do is the thoracic rotation?
Yep, so that one you're just here, and you're rotating, and you're seeing how far you can go. And it's just this upper part, so try not to let this move at all. It's just as far as this upper part can go here. All right, ready for the breathing? So you can do this part, you can do it sitting like that or laying. I'm gonna show it laying, but you can do it sitting like how you are just fine. So basically gonna get right here. Make sure your head's comfortable. If you feel like your head's tilting back, you can get like a pillow if you're on the ground. What you're gonna do is you're gonna have your lips together, your tongue on the roof of your mouth. You're gonna breathe in for about 3 seconds through the nose, and then breathe out for about 5 seconds through the nose. And you're gonna try to get as silent as possible with your breathing. You're gonna breathe into the belly, let the air slowly come up, and then kind of imagine it coming down the back like a waterfall, okay? We're gonna spend about 30 seconds here. But you guys can spend longer when you're doing this, probably like honestly shoot for like 2 or 3 minutes to kind of get yourself prepped for the work. Okay, so we're gonna get 30 seconds here. Good. So you should feel slightly more relaxed there. Kind of calming down. Trying to go too long to put you guys to sleep here though. So you got 2 more things you can basically use as kind of your tools as well for kind of warming up for this. Another thing is called brain buttons, which you're gonna get kind of in these little divots here right below your clavicle, and then right around your belly button, and you're just gonna kind of go back and forth like that. This is how both sides of the hemispheres of the brain communicate better and help your whole body movement improve. Again, you can spend about 30 seconds here, 15, 30, pretty good. Just use it as a technique. The other thing you can do is use visualization. So you can even do that while you're breathing, is imagine like your feet work great, your body works great, everything feels great, okay? You wanna get yourself set up for winning. So, we ready for this? We're gonna start by standing in alignment. So, standing in alignment. If you have lines, it will help. But if not, what we're gonna look for is we're gonna look for the points. So kind of like the pinky toe bone here, and then basically kind of the edge of your heel here, and you wanna form a line there, okay? It's almost gonna feel like you're pigeon-toed. So right here, get a straight line through here, and you're gonna stand there like that. So that's the first thing, getting kind of the feet straight. Make sure you're in a nice alignment. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna find your center of balance. So go back, okay, you went too far, you might try to fall forward. Go forward, you feel like you're too much on your ball of your foot. Come back in the middle, and you should have your center of gravity right here, okay? You should be right in the middle of the foot right there. You'll know that you're there if you can kind of lift your toes off the ground with pretty much, ease. If it feels like there's still too much pressure, you need to go a little bit back. So we're basically looking to get ourselves from this, like leaning, pitching forward and getting tons of tension in our calves, to coming back here, nice and aligned through the joints here, okay? So you're gonna hang out there for a little bit here. We're gonna spend about a minute or 2 in this position, and we're gonna see how it goes. And just keep on breathing nice and slow, relax into this position. You might notice maybe your knee feels twisted or your hip feels weird, or that's normal because it's actually putting you in a position that your body's like, what are you doing? Because I'm used to being my foot out here or doing this, and that's okay. So you want it to feel this and get used to this. What you're gonna do with this one is you're gonna actually use this one, even if you're in your shoes, it's fine. When you're out in public, obviously you're gonna be in your shoes. So you wanna use this one if you're standing in line at the bank or at the grocery store. You wanna say, okay, am I in alignment here? Can I wiggle my toes? And you're gonna work on your alignment at all times and getting your center of gravity back over your feet. Yeah, but this one also shows you more stuff too that's going on, which is cool. All right, ready for the next segment? Next segment, we're gonna load our feet. Basically, we're gonna get those small muscles in the foot to start working. This might be your favorite yet. So this is what we're gonna do. So Betsy, for this, you're gonna wanna use the chair for support. Oh yeah. So the same concept that you were just doing in your standing position, you wanna apply here. Even though you have the ball under your foot, you want yourself to still be in alignment. Make sure those knees are relaxed. Make sure you're not locking out like that. Let them relax. You're gonna start putting the ball literally on the ball of your foot. And make sure your heel stays on the ground. Yeah, you might get some ows. Might get that good action going on. So right about there. And you're just gonna let it hang out there for a little bit. And let your whole weight, or as much as you can, go into the ball. Kind of imagine your foot kind of draping over it. For some, it might be a little easier than others, or harder than others. Yeah, you might get that cringe look that's going. Yeah, it can be painful, because those muscles are trying to wake up now. And they're tight. Ball of the foot to start. It's gonna get worse, Betsy, don't worry.
That's where it's even more painful. I just did that part. I was going back.
You go in the middle? Yeah. Yeah, it's worse in the middle, and then we get to go all the way kind of to the back. It's all right. So this is actually going to help you get those muscles to actually reform an arch the best they can. Because basically your arch is just your muscles. Like there's no arch structure. Your muscles form the arch, right? So most people who say they have flat feet don't really have flat feet. Yeah, you might have. I haven't checked yours out, but you might have actual flat feet. Yeah. One of the two I've met in my lifetime of people who think they have flat feet. Everyone else is just your muscles aren't working, so it flattens out, and that's it. All right, so we're gonna move into the middle now. This is where it's gonna get great. Like my foot's not that bad because I'm used to this, but for everyone else, yeah, you're gonna have the face like Betsy has right now. Like, oh my gosh. And again, if you do need to take some pressure off, you can take a little bit off because if it's like overwhelming, like you feel like you're gonna, try to take some pressure off. And just because you want to get what's called a graded exposure, you want to slowly add more until you can deal with it, until your kind of nerves can handle it. Because remember, they haven't done this kind of business in a long time, most likely. Your heel's always staying on the ground. How do I get mine so flat? Yeah, I can do that because I'm putting all my weight into it, and I'm able to do that because it doesn't hurt me. So, and then I weigh more than you, so that helps too. But you could do it more, but again, you have to feel comfortable. If it's hurting too much, you're not gonna be able to put enough weight to like flatten it, but that's not a big deal. You're just looking to get pressure through the foot to kind of stimulate those muscles. All right, now we're gonna go into the back portion. And this is usually like, kind of moment, okay? That's not angelic, that's like, yep, oh yeah. As best you can. You can do it, you got it. I see you got it. It's hard, you'll end up having your foot, especially if the tissue is hard to work with, more up like this. It'll almost be like that. Yeah. Yeah, it won't flop forward yet. It'll get there, but it'll kind of be almost like that.
You mean like that, a rigid plank?
Yeah, perfect. Doing it right. All right, good. Now you're gonna take the foot off. Now put the foot on the ground and see if you notice like your foot connecting better to the ground here. Should feel better, right? Yeah. So there should be a little bit more feeling like you got all points of your foot kind of contacting, like almost like you're rooted to the ground. Like you can like, yeah. So you can feel the hip drop. Yeah, now the other one's gonna feel like, this sucks. So we're not gonna do the other one right now. I know. Maybe we should do a little bit of, okay, we'll do a little bit. That face was like a little bit. So what we'll do for this one is go right more into the middle to start, because we'll do an abbreviated version. But you're gonna work, remember, you guys are gonna work more on this at home. And always, No, Corey probably won't give me. What's that? Yeah. Check them out? Yeah, definitely. I'm fine with it. Of course, like give away the tennis balls. I don't know. It's like, dude, you can buy like more for like $11. Like, I can get like 20 of them or whatever. He's like, you give away all the tennis balls. I'm like, oh, yeah. They needed them. Yeah, the tennis ball's a great tool. I mean, progressively, you could work up to like a golf ball or marbles or other. Yeah, that's like long term. Because you get more into like the little spaces and joints and it's just so every way. So for example, I'm showing you kind of straight down the line with this. You can get the foot more on the outer edges and do the same kind of progression. That's gonna be totally different how your foot's reacting. Basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to stimulate the foot is in more of a natural environment, right? So in our shoe, the foot's just kind of like this, right? It's not doing anything. Outside, we were walking barefoot in nature, there's all these different curves and your joints, you have 33 joints in your foot and they all need to work together to work right. And you can imagine most of us only have like 2 joints or 3 joints in our foot. And what I mean by that is like they're all so stuck together, it's like it's only moving at like 2 or 3 spots. And that's why the feet are like, I hate you. All right, so go ahead and take the foot off there and now you should be a little more evened out. Yeah. Sigh of relief. And again, what we're looking for is kind of more connectedness, more feeling like rooted to the ground, more of your foot being kind of spread on the ground. All right, next thing we're gonna do is the calf stretch. This is my favorite. So, calf stretch. So the calf stretch is like your calves, because most of us are standing kind of forward, like that, onto our ball of our foot, are getting really tight. Okay, and so we're gonna help them kind of relax. And as we bring ourselves in the standing posture we're going to use over the next 4 weeks and more, that's going to relax the calves naturally, but now we're going to use some of this manual tool to do that. So you'll definitely want to hold on Son for this as well. So how it's going to go is you're going to put the ball of the foot here on the dome. If you don't have a dome, you can use a rolled up yoga mat or like a rolled up towel. Works fine. Or you can just take a foam roller and cut it in half yourself. It's really, if you don't want to do that though, yoga mat or rolled up towel works fine. The key is just getting the front of the foot, the ball of the foot, elevated. Then what we're going to do is you're going to come forward like this, okay? And you're going to stand nice and straight and only come as far forward as you feel. You want to feel like a light stretch to start. If it feels like your calf's going to explode off the heel, you need to come back. So you might start even behind here. Yeah, exactly. Because what we're doing here is we're bringing your foot into dorsiflexion, right? And if you have limited dorsiflexion, this one's going to be really hard. So we're going to do about 30 to 60 seconds to start here. But again, you just want to feel a light stretch just to know it's working. It's better to do a little too little than too much on this because you want the tissue to adapt. Yeah, you're definitely going to want to use the chair there.
I'm being adventurous.
I don't know if I want you being that adventurous. How's that feel on the calf?
It's pulling a little bit, but you could go up against the wall and push.
Yeah, but that's not the goal. The goal isn't so much as the stretch as being in alignment when you're stretching. This is like your gait. So you want to kind of you want to stretch your calf in a way that you're kind of mimicking your natural movement. I know, that's what we're working on. Little negative Nancy. I know, I like your honesty. A little negative Nancy on there, but
Well, no, I mean, I've evaluated the whole Dr. Who likes
Yep. All right, good. We're going to go ahead and switch sides. And to see what side, how the sides kind of compare. One might be worse or better. So this is the calf stretch. The next one we're going to do is the soleus stretch, which is similar to this, except we'll just change one thing up to get the soleus. How are we doing?
It's not pulling or doing anything.
So you got to step the other foot more forward. But if you're not feeling stable enough, make sure you got. And make sure you're standing nice and erect and you're getting that knee straightened out. Yeah, because you got to make sure that knee's straight. If you bend it at all, you're going to take pressure off the calf. All right. So we'll switch to the next one here, which is literally the same thing. We'll go back to the original foot, except we're going to bend the knee now. And now you're going to get the soleus, which you'll feel a lot more kind of towards the bottom, almost Achilles area. Yeah. Yeah. What's that? So you're going to bend your knee forward. See?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I have to twist my foot outward, so you want it to stay
Don't twist it. Yep.
that way.
Because what your foot's trying to do is trying to compensate and not let you. Yeah. It's trying to cheat the. There you go. And keep that heel down. So you got to let the weight drive through your heel. And then right there. You feel that more?
No.
All right, keep coming forward to the knee. Yep, let it come.
Where do you want me to feel it? In the back, where the gastroc area is? Yeah, down below?
Down there.
Okay.
Kind of through here.
Nope. That's it.
Yeah, we'll work on that. What's that?
I'm compensating, so
Yeah, that's all right. You got to practice with this one to get the right, and it'll switch if you haven't switched yet. You gotta let the knee come forward, and you let the weight really drive through the heel. What's that? On that foot? It's not your friend. So the reason you're kind of not feeling it, Betsy, is because your knee's kind of coming in,
yeah, I know.
which is, we had to work on that.
Well, to straighten this, the knees have to.
Yep, so you gotta try to push your knee out with those muscles of your outer leg, and then you'll get more of it. But we might not be able to get it so much for you today. It's a work in progress.
This one I can't seem to get.
So let that knee come forward more.
It's not.
It's like, I don't want to do this. I see that, yeah. It's like, no. And it's okay, give it, you're gonna work with what it's giving you at this moment. All right, so that's that. Next one we're gonna do is the top of the foot stretch. So top of the foot stretch, here, you're gonna let the weight go into that back foot. I just cramped my toes out. I've done this one a little while. Yeah, it's good. Oh, it's good. Yeah. It means the muscle's trying to work. Yep.
Except the only thing that's stretching is the toe, the big toe. The other toes aren't touching anything.
Yeah, so try to get those other ones if you can. So get your foot more back if you can, like flat. So you're gonna have to, for this one, you're gonna have to manually work on stuff first. Yep.
I think I could substitute for Charlie Chaplin.
You could, maybe, yeah. The other thing you can try with this, Betsy, is like sitting in a chair. Not that one's too high, but sitting in a lower chair and then bringing the foot off to the side and trying it that way. Because yeah, your foot wants to stay really like that. It doesn't really want to go there. But that's what we're trying to unlock. And so with a lot of this, you'll get like spasm or cramp. It's not bad. You don't want it to go too much, but it's actually the muscles literally trying to wake up. Like they're tight, but they're kind of weak.
I feel this in my ankle.
Yes. Yeah. Because you'll get kind of like your tibialis anterior, which kind of wraps around from the middle here and then comes across the ankle. You get a nice little stretch on that. You're just gonna get a nice big toe stretch. We'll work on getting those other toes. We got 4 weeks. Don't try to get all the fun out in one session.
Just one toe.
Yeah, just the one toe. The other one will be going like this. It'll be like, be able to fly like that. All right. So that pretty much covers the basics of what you're gonna do over the next week before we meet again. Next thing we're gonna go over real quick is kind of I call the quick start routine, which is something you can do in like a few minutes, and it's really gonna do more myofascial stuff to this. And you can use this to start or end kind of your session with your foot. So we're gonna have what's called like a peroneal and tibialis anterior kind of release. So you're gonna kind of get on this musculature here, kind of in the shin area, and then along the side. And you're gonna find a tender spot, and you'll know when you got it.
It's like a whole 1 hour session on one side.
Yep. So you're gonna spend hours on these legs, and then you're gonna kind of move the foot once you pin down a spot. Okay. And you'll basically just find different spots. We're not gonna spend too much time on this. Oh, there's a good one. Oh. You could do something like that too, yeah. The key with this though, you do want this active movement at the ankle joint because that's gonna help the fascial tissue kind of let go. Yep. Okay. So you'll work that basically up and down, just find a few spots. You can work as long or as little as you want, but next thing we're gonna do is, this would probably work better with a lacrosse ball, although it depends, because where you're at right now, you're gonna kind of get into the calf, find some stuff. Yeah, I guess that works good. And you're gonna kind of hang out on the calf muscle and find like a nice little spot. Same thing, you're gonna kind of move the foot up and down. If this is like not hard enough, you can use a lacrosse ball and you might love yourself. Or you could even use a foam roller, half dome kind of thing. Doesn't that feel great? It's intense concentration right there. Yes, breathe. And obviously you'll do that on both sides. So those are kind of the releases. The other thing you can do is you can roll the ball under your foot just to kind of get the fascial tissue just kind of warmed up there. Everything waking up. Now the key here, so you're doing kind of this like release work first, and then we're gonna finish with kind of what's called like some motor control or kind of integration work, which is we're gonna do a bird dog. Yep, this is gonna check your balance too. And then you can also do baby crawl. If you aren't feeling too comfortable being on the ground with those, you can just do a cross crawl, like this, or kind of like this, or a march. The key is you wanna get these in because after you loosen the feet, you wanna tie them into your walking basically, or your basic walking movements. Otherwise your brain's not gonna really pick up and everything's gonna kinda tighten up again, okay? Questions on that? No? Got it? Okay. All right, last thing we get to do today. Foot massage, yeah. All right. So you can sit down on the chair if you want for this, or you can sit down on the table. And you guys want, I have some of the oil right here, but if you want, you can spray with this first too. Tea tree oil, yeah. Smells good. You can spray mist your feet a little bit. Yeah.
What do you mix the tea tree oil with?
Just water. Just dilute it with water, yeah. Do you want some or no? Oh, I love the smell of tea tree. Totally relaxing. And then here, you can take as much as you... Gotta get an unscented version next time too. Yep. And then I'll have some paper towel over here for after, because, oil is oily. So I'll kind of guys take you through what obviously some techniques you can do with this, because there's a few. So basically, let's go. So you get on the foot. Now what you can kind of do is you kind of get in between the toes as best you can, and you can just kind of move the foot around. Yeah, so the best you can. The other thing you can do for this, Betsy, is if you got like a little, a pal to help you out, you can have.
I have cats, but they probably won't want it.
Probably not. Cats are like, help me out.
It's like cat and cat.
Another thing you can do is you can kind of get on this other side and kind of like spread like that. Kind of just spread the tissue. One thing I like doing is kind of going in here, kind of getting in the arch. And if you want to, you can go up into like the calf Achilles area. Basically, whatever you want to do. This is your deal. You can kind of twist the foot different ways. And if you find any tender spots, you can kind of hang out there and just kind of get them a little bit more. Yeah, like you'll find, yeah, often on the top. Yeah, right, like so right through here. You get some, yeah, lovely right through all those bones in between. So I'm talking about dedication right there. For the foot or getting into that position? Oh yeah, that'll be, yeah. Yeah, so don't try to kill yourself, but you definitely want to do it because the more you can do that, you can kind of help them spread out away more. Just walk like that, it's cool. You just go back like that.
Now you know I have to sit on a massage.
And if you want to, if you don't want to use oil, you can use a cream kind of thing, or you can honestly just do it without anything, get a little more of the fascial tissue. Oh yeah, right there, right in the arch. Betsy's like, yeah, this feels great. Yeah, that's so much fun. Yeah? Good. Yeah, you might get some cracks, any of that kind of fun. What we're gonna do too after you guys finish up with this is we're gonna real quick recheck a couple of the assessments just to see what we got. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna slide right off this thing like What's that?
I can't even see really the areas with calluses.
Yep.
So this is the most important.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, so you're just kind of getting an idea where they are, because you want to see too if they change over time. So that means you're just transferring your weight differently, which would be awesome. And just imagine, this is only the beginning. It's only the beginning. The good thing, the rest of the classes are pretty much like all hands on. A couple things about shoes and stuff like that, but we got a lot more.
I think I'm ready to get. I like the shoes I have. New ones because I stopped feeling. Started tired.
Yeah, yeah,
Like started to hurt again.
yep.
Like, it's just a
Here's the other thing too is like I tell people to be realistic about things is like if you're in like a concrete surface like all day, like say like in a school or or some kind of hard floor, the minimalist shoes, you need to adapt right over time. Two, like your foot wasn't meant to be on a concrete surface all day, so people get a little extreme in their barefootedness.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like in the middle where it's like, okay, be realistic. You might want to wear maybe potentially a more cushiony or supportive shoe if you're doing that all day. You can get out of it and move it and make sure it's getting, but it's like, if you're like that and you're pretty much barefoot on concrete, it hurts after a while. All right, how we doing?
The shoe itself is just not cold. It's not. It doesn't feel like. I noticed the difference when I used to have the really closed boxed toe, and then switched to the other shoe that's a little bit more open. But now my toes are feeling just as cramped as they did in the old shoe.
Yeah. So I'd switch then, probably. Yeah. A new shoe. Yeah. Yep. Or like the same one, but just new. Yeah. So if you want to,
Oh yeah, it's probably been more than 6 months.
you can compare your foot and just to see if it stays within the lines of this or if it's gotten wider.
I can't even place it. Oh yeah, my toes are closer.
Yeah, this gives you a rough idea. The more you're looking for the 4-week difference. So it looks like that toe's out a little bit, the big toe.
Oh, this one. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep. The other thing you can check is check your ankle.
Oh, the wall thing?
Yep.
No, I did it.
Got our work cut out for us.
Oh, that's nice. It's actually going slightly
I know now.
with my toe.
Now you're getting through it, yeah. Yep. Good. And that's what we want to know is like, can I get past like this hard end feel kind of deal? And does it have more like bounce? And basically a big one is like, it can be the calf, but a lot of times it's the soleus. Like,
Yeah, I mean, on this
Yeah.
one I felt it, and now I feel a little unusual muscle ache here.
yep.
It's like, hi.
And then try that one again. Toe touch, yep.
Yeah, it's worse.
And then try your rotation. We haven't done anything for that yet, but just, you can try it and check it. All right, good. Yeah, because we're looking for more change over the next month versus today, but it's fun to look at today and see what happens.
Feels the same.
Do it again. One more time. Yeah, so nothing there yet. Cool. Cool. So this is the stuff you're gonna be practicing over the next week before we meet again. Practice, because we're gonna check on it and see how things go. All right, guys, we are set for today. Any questions?